Smoke rises in thick, curling clouds over the walls of Esztergom. Cannon fire shakes the ground, throwing dust and stone into the air. Men scream as wooden beams splinter, and the smell of gunpowder hangs heavy, acrid, and suffocating. Inside the fortress, soldiers rush from tower to tower, dragging wounded comrades, patching breaches, firing desperately at shadows that move like ghosts along the walls. Outside, the European army presses forward relentlessly. Artillery booms. Sappers dig tunnels beneath the ramparts. The defenders are skilled, disciplined, and countless, but even skill falters against the thunder of relentless siege guns. Panic creeps into their eyes. Each failed volley, each crumbling wall, each scream from the ramparts deepens the dread. No one expected this assault to be so swift. No one expected the walls to groan and buckle so quickly. And yet, the fortress, symbol of Ottoman might along the Danube, is trembling. The defenders clutch their lives, their honor, and their empire, all hanging by a thread. By nightfall, history will remember this day. An empire will learn that even the strongest walls can be shattered, and even the mightiest soldiers can be brought to their knees. The fortress of Esztergom sits like a crown above the Danube, its walls a sentinel between empires. For decades, it has been the gateway to Ottoman-controlled Hungary, a symbol of dominance, a key to controlling the flow of soldiers, trade, and influence across Central Europe. From its towers, the Ottomans could see danger approaching, yet the fortress had always seemed untouchable, a bulwark no army could breach. But the year is 1595. The Long Turkish War rages across the frontier, pitting the Habsburg Empire against the Ottomans in a struggle that will define Europe's balance of power. Tensions run high. Every fortress, every river crossing, every hill could shift the war. The Habsburg forces, determined to reclaim lost ground, have gathered a coalition of soldiers, engineers, and artillerymen, their eyes fixed on Esztergom. At their head stands Count Miklós Pálffy, a commander known for daring assaults and meticulous planning. Inside the fortress, the Ottoman garrison knows the stakes. Governor and soldiers alike understand that losing Esztergom is more than a military defeat. It is a blow to the empire's image, a crack in its frontiers, a story that enemies and allies alike will remember. And yet, no matter how disciplined or determined, even the walls of stone and men of steel may not withstand what is coming. The stage is set. The calm before the storm is over. The siege, the assault, the struggle for survival and glory is about to begin. The European army does not waste a moment. Cannons are dragged into position, their iron barrels gleaming in the pale morning light, spiked wheels grinding over cobblestones and dirt. Engineers measure distances, mark walls, and inspect weak points with meticulous precision. Sappers kneel at the edges of trenches, picks striking stone and soil, their muscles straining, sweat dripping under the weight of anticipation. Every movement is deliberate, every glance calculated. Across the Danube, the Ottoman garrison fortifies its defenses. Archers sharpen arrows, musketeers check powder, soldiers carry sandbags and timber to reinforce crumbling towers. Inside the fortress, civilians huddle in shadowed corners, clutching what little they can carry, listening to the distant drums and the faint rumble of artillery. Anxiety grows with each passing hour. No one knows exactly when the assault will begin, but the air vibrates with tension, thick and suffocating. The fortress sits at a crossroads of geography and history. Steep cliffs guard the riverbanks, cutting off easy passage, while hills to the north and east offer cover for attacking forces. The walls, tall and imposing, seem unbreachable, but every fortress has a weakness, every stone a story, and every army a plan. Count Pálffy studies the terrain with hawk-like precision. He notes every angle, every shadow, every ridge that might conceal a hidden column or a sudden cannon strike. The siege will not be a straightforward assault. It will be a test of endurance, patience, and nerve. As night falls, preparations continue under flickering torchlight. Engineers cover their tracks, soldiers whisper in the dark, and scouts slip through the mist, reporting every movement within the fortress. On both sides, sleep is shallow, punctuated by the distant echo of cannon testing or the creak of a wall under strain. Fear gnaws at the stomach, tension tightens the muscles, and the mind strains under the weight of the inevitable clash. Every man knows that this is more than a battle for a fortress. It is a test of will, a struggle that will decide the fate of the frontier. The European army waits, poised to strike. The Ottoman garrison braces, alert to every shadow. And somewhere in the distance, the Danube flows silently, bearing witness to the storm about to break. Count Miklós Pálffy does not attack blindly. Every move is deliberate, a calculated pressure applied against stone and steel. Artillery is positioned with care, cannon placed to strike towers that appear weakest, mortars angled to rain fire over walls without endangering his own men. Sappers dig tunnels beneath the fortifications, their picks striking hidden chambers, each blow a whisper of destruction beneath the Ottoman feet. Every shadow of the fortress is mapped, measured, and accounted for. The Europeans do not simply rely on brute force. Feints and diversions ripple across the battlefield. Small detachments move visibly along the northern approaches, drawing the defenders' eyes, only to vanish before any counterattack can reach them. At the same time, hidden columns in the south edge closer, under the cover of forest, unseen and silent, ready to strike at the precise moment when walls begin to crumble. Timing is absolute. A single misstep could allow the garrison to regroup or mount a devastating sortie. Inside the fortress, the Ottomans are equally alert. Guards rotate tirelessly, eyes scanning every ridge and shadow. Cannons are remounted and loaded, arrows are stockpiled, and walls are reinforced with haste. Yet the defenders cannot know what they do not see. The tunnels being dug beneath their very feet, the men hiding in ravines, the feints drawing their attention away. These are movements invisible to them, movements that will soon become deadly. The geography itself becomes a weapon. The Danube restricts retreat and resupply, while hills and forests conceal artillery crews, ambushers, and scouts. Engineers mark every line, every slope, every angle that could funnel the enemy into a kill zone. Psychological warfare seeps through the air. Each cannon fired, each volley of musketry, each small skirmish erodes confidence. The fortress seems impregnable, yet with every observation, Pálffy and his men plant doubt in the hearts of those inside. Night brings new challenges. Both sides move cautiously, shadows dancing in torchlight. Pálffy inspects his men, ensuring orders are clear and roles understood. Ottoman commanders, sleepless and tense, wonder which approach will be assaulted first, how many men are hidden where, and if the walls will hold. Neither side sleeps. Every heartbeat is measured against the next strike, every movement a potential disaster or victory. By the first light, the stage is set. Artillery is primed. Tunnels are nearly complete. Detachments are in position. The defenders, fatigued but vigilant, brace for the inevitable. Both sides know that the coming hours will be decisive. And in the quiet tension before the storm, one truth is clear. The fortress will either hold its ground or crumble, and the fate of the Ottoman frontier will hang on every strike, every order, every moment of courage or hesitation. Dawn breaks over Esztergom, but the fortress does not greet the morning with calm. Smoke curls from cannon muzzles, acrid and thick, mixing with the morning mist drifting across the Danube. The European army advances in measured waves, drums pounding, muskets primed, and artillery booming from carefully chosen positions. Every volley shakes the earth. Every explosion sends splinters of stone into the air. Soldiers on both sides cry out, and the clamor of battle begins in earnest. From the southern forest, detachments emerge like ghosts. Engineers roll cannons along concealed paths, while infantry crouch low, their movements silent, deliberate. The Ottomans on the walls rush to intercept, arrows flying in deadly arcs, cannonballs tearing through parapets. The fortress shudders under the barrage. Timbers snap, masonry crumbles, and dust fills the air. Civilians inside the fortress scream and flee to the inner courtyards, clutching children and possessions, eyes wide with terror. Count Pálffy moves along the front, inspecting each battery, signaling reinforcements, adjusting the angles of artillery fire. His presence is calm amid chaos, a beacon for his soldiers. Sappers strike deeper beneath the walls, and subtle tremors begin to shake the foundations. Meanwhile, Ottoman defenders scramble to counter the assault. Some units climb higher towers, desperately pouring fire upon approaching infantry. Others struggle to plug breaches forming from repeated cannon shots. Panic flickers in some eyes, but discipline keeps most soldiers at their posts, for now. The European volleys are precise. Walls that had seemed indestructible start to splinter and buckle under constant bombardment. Smoke and dust obscure vision, masking hidden infantry approaching from ravines and ridges. The defenders fire blindly, each shot a gamble, hoping to hit attackers they cannot see. Horses whinny and rear. Men slip on rubble, tripping over debris as the chaos spreads. Every corner of the fortress becomes a vortex of action. Explosions, screams, and flashes of steel. Even as the attackers advance, the Ottomans refuse to yield. Mounted patrols charge into approaching columns, forcing temporary retreats, only to be driven back by relentless European discipline. Every attack is met with desperate ingenuity. Boiling oil poured from towers, countermines struck to collapse tunnels, and sudden sorties into the besiegers' lines. Yet the pressure never eases. Every cannon fired, every breach exploited, every volley of musketry chips away at the defenders' confidence. Amid the chaos, both sides feel the weight of history pressing down. The fortress is not just stone and earth, it is the symbol of Ottoman dominance along the frontier. Every cannonball that smashes a wall, every collapse that buries a defender, every faltering soldier is a message. The battle is not merely for Esztergom, it is for the future of the region. But even as walls crumble and tension spikes, the fight is far from over. The defenders are stubborn, reinforcements lurk, ready to strike, and hidden traps beneath the fortress could turn the tide. The battle rages with no clear victor, and both sides teeter on the edge of disaster. A single miscalculation, a single moment of hesitation, could tip everything into chaos. The stage is set for a turning point, an unexpected strike, a bold maneuver, or a catastrophic failure that will change the course of the siege forever. The fortress quakes under the relentless European assault, but inside the Ottomans are not finished yet. Suddenly, a thunderous explosion shakes the northern wall. A miscalculated European mine collapses prematurely, sending debris flying across the attacking lines. Soldiers scramble, horses panic, and the carefully choreographed assault falters for a heartbeat. The defenders seize the moment, pouring volleys of musket fire and arrows into the stunned attackers, buying precious time to repair breaches and reinforce towers. Count Pálffy's plan hinges on precision, and this unexpected blast threatens everything. Officers shout orders through the smoke, repositioning artillery, rallying infantry, and trying to regain the rhythm of the assault. Engineers scramble to stabilize collapsed trenches, while hidden columns creep closer under cover of dust and debris. For a moment, victory seems to hang by a thread, the outcome uncertain. Amid the chaos, a smaller European detachment spots a weak point in the southeastern bastion, barely reinforced and lightly manned. A daring maneuver begins. Infantry slip quietly into a ravine, avoiding Ottoman observation, preparing to strike at the heart of the fortress if they can reach the wall undetected. Meanwhile, inside, defenders notice subtle movements in the shadows. Suspicion sparks tension. Messages rush back and forth. The fortress is alive with anxiety, each heartbeat heavy with anticipation. Every action now carries massive consequences. One cannon misfired, one ladder misplaced, one commander hesitating. Any of these could tip the balance. The battle is no longer just a contest of numbers or firepower. It has become a test of nerve, timing, and quick thinking. Both sides feel it. The fragile line between triumph and disaster is razor thin. The turning point is clear. Momentum has shifted. The fortress that seemed unshakable is cracking under pressure. But the attacker's own errors have reminded everyone that victory is never guaranteed. The siege has entered its most unpredictable phase. Every soldier knows that the next move, the next decision, the next strike could decide whether Esztergom will survive or fall. And history itself hangs in the balance. The morning sun climbs higher over Esztergom, glinting off cannon barrels and steel helmets. Smoke from continuous bombardment drifts across the fortress, curling into the sky like a warning. The northern wall, shattered by repeated artillery strikes, begins to give way. European infantry surge forward, scaling ladders with a mixture of determination and terror. The defenders pour everything they have into holding the line. Arrows, musket volleys, boiling oil, even stones hurled from the ramparts. The air is thick with dust, smoke, and the metallic tang of blood. Count Pálffy moves along the front, signaling reinforcements, rallying soldiers, and ensuring that no breach goes unexploited. The defenders fight with desperation born of pride and fear. Every tower they hold is a message, every collapse a personal and imperial failure. Yet the relentless pressure begins to tell. The fortress trembles under coordinated assaults from every side. Hidden ravines and tunnels allow attackers to strike at weak points previously thought secure. The defenders' fatigue, combined with the psychological strain of seeing walls crumble around them, begins to erode their resolve. By mid-morning, key bastions have fallen. Soldiers who had held their posts for hours stumble, retreating to inner courtyards, where even more waves of European infantry press the advantage. Horses panic, trampling the wounded, while cries of agony and shouts of command mingle into a chaotic symphony. The fortress that once symbolized Ottoman dominance is now a maelstrom of fire, dust, and steel. The Ottoman garrison retreats to the final inner defenses, but the Europeans, disciplined and coordinated, allow no respite. Each breach is met with another surge, each counterattack parried with careful precision. The siege has become more than a battle. It is a demonstration of strategy, timing, and psychological mastery. Commanders on both sides understand the stakes. Surrender now or be annihilated. When the final walls give way, Esztergom falls. The fortress, long thought impregnable, lies under European control. The loss sends shockwaves across the frontier. Ottoman morale shatters. Local populations witness the vulnerability of their rulers. And the Habsburg forces gain not just a strategic stronghold, but a symbol of defiance and determination. The European victory will echo for years, a turning point in the Long Turkish War, proving that preparation, cunning, and timing can topple even the mightiest bastions. Yet the battlefield is not merely stone and blood. The siege leaves lessons etched into memory. The cost of arrogance, the power of patience, and the fragile balance between strength and strategy. Esztergom will be remembered not only as a fortress conquered, but as a testament to the men who dared to challenge an empire. The smoke over Esztergom has cleared, leaving walls scarred, towers shattered, and a city forever marked by conflict. For the Ottomans, the loss is more than strategic. It is psychological. The frontier trembles with the realization that even their strongest fortresses are vulnerable, that discipline and numbers alone cannot guarantee victory. Stories of the siege travel quickly, whispered along the Danube and through border towns. Tales of precision, patience, and daring that defied expectation. For the Europeans, the victory is both triumph and lesson. Count Miklós Pálffy's meticulous planning, His understanding of terrain, timing, and morale becomes a model for future campaigns. Soldiers carry the memory of walls breached and odds overcome, their courage and endurance celebrated in chronicles and songs. Esztergom stands as a symbol of the fragile balance between empires. It reminds history that control is never absolute, that a single fortress can shift the tides of war, and that strategy, patience, and audacity often outweigh sheer force. Long after the smoke clears, the siege resonates as a testament. In war, the mind is as powerful as the sword, and the will to act decisively can shake even the strongest of empires.